But the stories that they told in the documentary, bruh, come on. They could have went a whole lot deeper. They could have did a whole lot more.
Interestingly, we haven't seen the indictments yet. There's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic, evidence.
We've reached a point where the clash between Diddy's sons and 50 Cent is no longer about image control. It's about survival. The terrain is shifting faster than anyone anticipated. Just weeks after 50 Cent's Netflix expose, The Reckoning detonated across the industry with unseen footage and explosive claims against Sean Combs, Justin and Christian Combs made their move. And it's not defensive. Insiders say they're assembling what amounts to a nuclear-grade cache of material aimed directly at 50 Cent, content designed to rip open his past and potentially rewrite the narrative of his rise. But there's a catch. As they prepare to strike, legal pressure is closing in. Lawsuits, subpoenas, and whispers of possible arrests now surround the Combs brothers, turning this from a legacy defense into a high-risk gamble where one wrong step could land them behind bars alongside their father.
With the series, with the film?
I mean, I think the intention is to give a more full-bodied experience to what happened, from the people that agreed to sit down and to participate. And I feel like the film asks a lot of questions, maybe more questions are asked than answers given.
The timing couldn't be more combustible. Diddy, currently incarcerated at Fort Dix with a revised release date of May 25, 2028, is watching from prison as his sons step into a conflict that's grown beyond him. Their upcoming docuseries, slated for a 2026 release on Zeus Network, isn't just a response to 50 Cent, it's a calculated counteroffensive. Sources close to the project say the brothers have quietly stockpiled footage, recordings, and testimony meant not just to challenge the reckoning, but to dismantle 50 Cent's carefully cultivated persona. We're talking unreleased interviews, financial documents, and allegations tied to his early career, material so sensitive that insiders claim 50's team has already entered damage control mode. Despite his public mockery, including Instagram posts brushing the brothers off as legacy dependents, those close to him admit he's anything but relaxed. The real question isn't whether the Combs sons can strike, it's whether they can survive the fallout. Because this isn't just content. It's a legal time bomb.
It's probably leaning towards guilt. Now, on the racketeering, I agree with you that the predicate acts may be found, but that's not all they need. There's an ultimate question. The first question on the jury verdict form is, do you find him guilty or not guilty of racketeering? Before you even get to the predicate acts, which you only get to if you find guilt, they could just be hung up on that question and say, this guy's not Tony Soprano. I am not convinced that I even want to find
Justin
guilt.
and Christian Combs are walking a razor's edge, juggling their father's appeal while facing growing legal threats of their own. Justin, 31, and Christian, 27, are no longer just heirs managing a brand, they're defendants. In April 2024, Christian was named in a lawsuit alleging misconduct aboard a yacht chartered by Diddy, with accusations echoing those made against his father. 2 months later, Justin faced a separate lawsuit claiming he lured a woman to Los Angeles under false pretenses, where she allegedly endured coercion at a Beverly Hills property. The allegations are disturbing. Masked individuals, threats, and patterns attorneys say mirror the elder Combs case. Both brothers deny the claims, but the timing couldn't be worse. Their documentary isn't just PR, it's a Hail Mary as their own legal exposure intensifies. And while they scramble, 50 Cent's camp isn't standing still.
Say anything, you would interpret it as the hip-hop is fine with his behaviors. There's no one else being vocal. So you would look at it and just say, because that mind your business, or let me not say nothing about nothing, or those things, it would allow the entire culture to register as if they're for that.
The rapper who long positioned himself as the moral counterweight to Diddy's alleged excesses now finds his own history under scrutiny. Sources say the Combs brothers have locked in testimonies from figures tied to 50 Cent's pre-fame years, when alliances and business dealings were far less polished. There's talk of sealed records, unresolved rivalries, and associations that could reignite debates about how he truly built his empire. Publicly, 50 responds with bravado. Privately, urgency. His legal team has reportedly contacted former associates, warning them against cooperating with the project. His social media jabs, like mocking Christian over a deleted tweet threatening violence, mask a deeper strategy. He's probing, testing boundaries, seeing how far the brothers will go. But the biggest wildcard remains Diddy himself. From prison, he's allegedly in constant contact with his sons, shaping the documentary's direction. His appeal strategy, including a December 2025 filing accusing the judge of acting as a 13th juror, wasn't just legal maneuvering. It was a signal. Diddy is playing the long game, and the documentary is part of it.
So the judge, again, seemed to be taking that matter pretty seriously and just pretty much said that, everyone, the attorneys, the witnesses' attorneys, the accusers' attorneys, they all have to adhere to these professional rules. They all have to adhere to this professional conduct. And if this continues and if more things are said that get onto the
Some of the footage in question was reportedly filmed by Diddy himself in the days before his arrest, material he once intended to use to control his own narrative. Now it's being repurposed, not just to defend him, but to strike back at 50 Cent. And if history tells us anything, Diddy's legal battles are never just about courtrooms, they're about leverage. With his release date creeping closer, every move his sons make could either speed his return or ensure there's nothing left to reclaim. What's becoming obvious is that this documentary isn't the finale, it's the opening shot. Justin and Christian aren't just trying to rewrite their father's story. They're positioning themselves as power players in a post-Diddy industry. Former TV host Justin and rapper King Combs now stand at the center of a storm that could reshape hip-hop's power structure. The stakes are enormous.
Same kind of extortion that we heard when Cassie took the stand and testified on that airplane ride back from France. Diddy said, "You don't do a freak-off, I'm going to release one of the freak-off videos that you are profiled in and humiliate."
If the documentary collapses, if the material is ruled illegally obtained, or if their own legal cases gain traction, the brothers could face the same fate as their father. As for 50 Cent, he's not just a target. He's an active player in a game whose rules are being rewritten live. His Netflix project was a knockout blow. The Combs brothers' response is a counterstrike that could either restore balance or detonate everything. Then there's the money. Diddy's once massive empire has been gutted by lawsuits and brand toxicity. But his sons still control fragments, assets, access, and secrets. Industry whispers suggest investors are circling their project, not out of loyalty, but curiosity over what might be revealed. This documentary isn't just storytelling, it's negotiation. And once it drops, lawsuits will follow. From 50 Cent. From networks. From anyone who feels exposed. The brothers are betting that truth, or their version of it, will set them free. But in an industry where leverage is currency, freedom comes at a steep price.
Freed were in the unit that was one floor above mine. So in terms of like the setting, it's a fairly decent chance that the room I'm describing is similar to where Diddy is. Yeah.
The Combs brothers have everything to gain and everything to lose. 50 Cent, long the master of converting beef into profit, now finds himself in unfamiliar territory, no longer the hunter, but the hunted. And Diddy, even behind bars, remains the unseen hand, reminding everyone his influence hasn't disappeared. It's simply evolved. The documentary lands in 2026. Until then, the war will rage through court filings, private deals, and industry-backed channels. The only real question is who's left standing when the dust settles, and whether truth will even matter. Because in this game, reputation isn't the first casualty. Control is.
Front of this and tried to persuade Netflix not to come forward with it. I think it's an interesting argument because what they're claiming is, Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent, has had a long-standing, animosity against Diddy and sort of vice versa. And because he's at the helm, they're arguing this can't be taken seriously. This should sort of be seen as propaganda. And one of the things that Netflix hit back with was, yes, he's the executive producer. He doesn't necessarily have creative control. And that's something.
What's becoming clear is that this isn't just a feud, it's an opportunity machine. While the Combs sons and 50 Cent trade blows publicly, an entire ecosystem hums behind the scenes. Streaming platforms, labels, law firms, even the prison system, all have skin in the game. Netflix proved that with The Reckoning, which wasn't just content, but a strategic business play. Insiders say the streamer saw the Diddy scandal as a gateway to dominate true crime, with 50 Cent's involvement guaranteeing controversy. The result? Nearly 22 million minutes viewed in just 6 days. That's not attention, that's leverage.
Specifically challenges allegations suggesting that Mr. Combs and his involvement in the 2018 of his former partner Kim Porter, whose passing was officially attributed to natural causes by the Los Angeles County.
Now, with the Combs brothers prepping their Zeus Network counterdoc, we're witnessing a full-scale media arms race. The real question isn't who controls the narrative, it's who profits from the chaos. Diddy's empire may be fractured, but the pieces are still valuable. Legal insiders suggest the brothers' footage could be used as bargaining chips in appeals or settlement negotiations. But the fight isn't only about Diddy's freedom, it's about Justin and Christian securing their own financial futures. With assets frozen and revenue streams drying up, a high-stakes docuseries may be their lifeline.
So maybe the judge is going to give him more than time served.
But we should say that the maximum he could get is 20 years.
And that's what I want to get into for a minute, because this is some racist you-know-what, this man.
Meanwhile, 50 Cent's empire isn't invincible. His investments, from beverages to television to crypto, make him vulnerable. Rumors suggest business rivals are quietly rooting for the Combs project, hoping it distracts him long enough to strike. In this arena, even enemies' enemies can become allies. Then there's the legal-industrial complex, thriving on prolonged conflict. Attorneys on both sides aren't just litigating, they're trading information like currency. One insider claims 50's legal team has contacted figures from Diddy's past, gauging who might flip if incentivized.
Explain why he's speaking out now.
He said he's speaking out because he believes Diddy's a predator. He wants accountability, and he doesn't want someone like this to run unchecked.
At the same time, the Combs brothers' lawyers are reportedly combing through 50's early contracts and sealed records, searching for weaknesses. Every move is a potential trigger. And with federal scrutiny already in play from Diddy's original case, the risk is escalating. If the documentary includes even a hint of illegally obtained evidence, the brothers could face charges of their own. But the most chilling part isn't the feud, it's the collateral damage. Assistants, former employees, low-level execs, people who never sought the spotlight are now being approached, pressured, and pulled into the crossfire.
The flight where Diddy said to her, she testified that he showed her a video of a freak-off that she participated in and said, if you don't participate in another freak-off when we get to New York, I'm going to put this video out. I'm going to send it to your mother.
And that's coercion.
She testified to that.
If the jury
believed her, that's coercion. They would have cash.
Veterans warn that as the brothers dig deeper, they'll expose names that haven't surfaced yet. A former Bad Boy staffer has reportedly been contacted by both sides, offered money to stay quiet or speak up. And there are whispers that some who worked with 50 Cent have stories that don't align with his public persona. This war isn't about two men. It's about who gets sacrificed.
He put his hands on females, put his hands on producers, executives. That's just his. I guess that's what the whole name Bad Boy comes from. That people don't really understand. What is it? What is a bad boy? Why did he choose that name? He never really gave a clear definition of how he feels about that.
The documentary could either flip history on its head or seal the Combs family's downfall. If it lands as intended, Diddy's conviction could be reframed as a witch hunt, 50 Cent recast as an opportunist, and accusers scrutinized anew. But if it fails, it could hand prosecutors fresh ammunition. Legal analysts warn that any hint of obstruction or witness tampering could spark new indictments, not just for Diddy, but for his sons. And there's a darker possibility. This is only phase one of a long campaign, with more evidence waiting to surface.
It just felt like, what? Like, is this fun for him? Is this like a test?
To understand why this feels existential, you have to zoom out. This isn't just Diddy versus 50, it's a proxy war over hip-hop's legacy. Diddy represents the old guard, loyalty, secrecy, power behind closed doors. 50 Cent embodies the new model, transparency as a weapon, scandal as currency, public opinion as judge and jury. The Combs brothers documentary is a last attempt to prove the old rules still work. But the cultural tide has turned. Silence and intimidation no longer protect, they accelerate collapse.
Apparently, Diddy's knee has been bothering him recently, so he reported it. At some point, it was decided that he needed medical care outside of the jail, so he was taken to a...
The psychological toll is already visible. Paranoia is spreading. Former allies are cutting ties. Every text feels subpoena-ready. Justin and Christian, raised in the shadow of a larger-than-life father, now carry both the torch and the target. And 50 Cent, for the first time, risks losing not just a battle, but the myth that made him untouchable. The danger isn't defeat, it's irrelevance.
This shows a wide variety of sentences. Weighing all the relevant factors, the court determines that the sentence is 50 months of incarceration.
50.
4 years.
4 years.
5-0.
4 years, 2 months.
2 months.
Yep.
Wow.
50 months.
We haven't seen the worst yet. Lawsuits, leaks, betrayals, they're coming. Rumors swirl of once untouchable figures preparing to flip. Of preemptive legal strikes. of Diddy himself still pulling strings, convinced he can bend the outcome. The system thrives on explosions like this. And when the fire hits, it won't just burn the guilty, it'll scorch the entire industry. The only question left is this: if the Combs brothers truly have the evidence they claim, why haven't we seen it? Are they waiting for the perfect moment, or being played by forces larger than they know? One thing is certain: the next move won't just change the game. It'll change lives. Stay sharp. Stay watching. The real story always lives in the shadows.